Good evening, friends. Once again, this is Dr. Chetna. Today, we are going we'll be celebrating Karwachauth very recently, and today we are going to talk on this special topic. This topic is very special to me. Now the time is of festivity, and it's very interesting to see. I live in an apartment complex and oversee the group puja. I do not participate, but it looks so beautiful when about 100 women wearing yellows and reds and praying together, sitting in a big circle and chit-chatting. It's really very interesting. So now coming on to how Karwa Chauth will affect your pregnancy. So we're going to talk about do's and don'ts of Karwa Chauth in pregnancy. So I'm going to share some slides with you that makes it easier for me to read and for you to understand. So I'm working as a director and senior consultant at the Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology at the Cloud9 Hospital. This is a new beautiful hospital in Sector 14, Gurgaon, which is on the old MG Road, Mehroli Gurgaon Road. So coming to Karwa Chauth fasting in pregnancy, do's and don'ts. So now, number one, who can fast? So what is most important is who can fast. So not everyone can fast. It is fasting and not fasting. So there are two things. One is whether you decide to fast or not. So it's a very personal choice. And once you decide to fast, you need to decide how you're feeling, at what stage of pregnancy you are, and how's the pregnancy going. So if you're feeling good, your pregnancy is not very advanced, and there are no complications. So these are the women who can actually fast. Now, what do studies into fasting in pregnancy show? So, most importantly, if you fast even regularly, your baby is unlikely to be born premature. That means fasting does not cause premature delivery. Then, fasting during pregnancy does not mean that the baby is more likely to have less birth weight. That means even if you fast regularly during pregnancy, baby is likely to gain enough weight. You may feel less energetic if you fast, but that doesn't mean that your baby will be affected. You are feeling less energetic because you have taken less water and almost no food. And fasting during second trimester of pregnancy may reduce your risk of developing diabetes and prevent you from putting on a lot of weight. This is valid for women who fast regularly. Like there are women who fast on Mondays and Fridays and so on. So if somebody is fasting on a regular basis, at least twice a week, these women are less likely to develop diabetes in pregnancy. Now, how do I cope up with fasting during pregnancy? So if you are a healthy weight, that means you are neither a very thin person or not a very overweight person, that you lead a generally healthy lifestyle, you will be able to cope better with fasting. Whatever your baby will need nutrition, that will come from you if your body has enough energy stores. So that means fasting for a day or two is unlikely to impact the baby, because baby will take the energy from your body stores. So it should not impact the baby's growth on that day. Then how your body deals with fasting will also depends on your general health before you become pregnant. So if somebody is sick, like having diabetes or hypertension or some other diseases like epilepsy or heart disease or some other diseases, chronic anemia, protein deficiencies or other vitamin deficiencies, so these women may not cope with fasting very well. But otherwise, all those who are in good health, who are not in extremes of age of reproduction, like not below 18 and not over 40, 42, so they will cope with fasting better. Then what stage of pregnancy you are at? So early pregnancy, the middle of the trimester is one where you can fast more easily. In early pregnancy, there could be nausea, acidity, and it might be difficult to stay hungry because anyways you're very dizzy and vomitish through the day. The later pregnancy, the demand of the baby is more, and you might actually feel very hungry if you stay fasting the way Karwa Chauth is. So how long you fast during the day, that also depends. So different people do fast during pregnancy differently. Some women will start fasting right from very early morning. They get up and eat something and then stay completely without water and fruit through the day and do not take any kind of rest. And then they will offer prayers around 4, 5 and all the prayers and then wait till the moon rise. That would be somewhere 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, or sometimes even later. So these women are more likely to have difficulties compared to women who will fast only till say 12 midday or till evening puja, or who will consume some kind of nutrition through the day while maintain some kind of fast and not a complete fast. So it all depends on your physical health, what is your stage of pregnancy, and how long you've been fasting, and what is your practice of fasting. If you've been fasting very often, you will tolerate it better. Now, how should I prepare for fasting? That's a very, very regular question, and how I should prepare my body. So, number one is talk to your gynae, who can check on your health and see whether you are fit for fasting or no. So, different women can have different needs. Pregnancy can be a demanding time for your body. You and your baby need plenty of nutrients and fluids. Your doctor can help you to work out your dietary needs. So it is important to know whether you can fast or no. Then, if you have diabetes and if you still want to fast, as many women do, talk to your doctor beforehand and then plan your food and drinks very, very carefully. So, in general, if you have diabetes, it is best to avoid fasting. If you normally have caffeine, such as coffee, tea, and cola, it is a good idea to cut back before you fast. This is to prevent withdrawal headaches. You shouldn't have more than 200 milligrams of caffeine in a day, anyways, when you're pregnant, which is about 2 cups of instant coffee. But if you can avoid that, also, that is good. Remember that chocolates and green tea also contains some caffeine. Then talk to your employer about managing your work during fast. If it is not so essential, you may work half a day or take leave, take rest, and see how you can manage your fast along with pregnancy. It may be possible for you to reduce your working hours on that day or have extra breaks. Start preparing early by doing whatever things you want to shop and do finish your errands before you fast. That means don't think on the day of fast when you're free, let's go shopping, let's me finish this household cleaning and stuff. That will make you very tired. So whatever time you are getting off work, try to use it to relax and enjoy the celebration. Now, what are the signs, warning signs that you should look for while you are fasting? So, when you're fasting, you should be careful that you if you're not putting on enough weight or you are losing weight if last few days, then you should not be fasting. This is harmful for your baby. If you're very, very thirsty while fasting and you are not able to pass urine, or when you go to pass urine, you see the urine is very, very dark in color, then it looks like you are dehydrated, and this can lead to urinary infections. And in such a scenario, you must drink water. If you think you are very dizzy, you are fainting, you feel weak, you're confused, or you're tired, even after you had good rest, that is a sign that you must break your fast immediately. You can take a sugary drink, an electral powder, or a salty snack or something. Contact your doctor if you don't feel good and you feel any of these symptoms or signs while fasting. Now, how do you eat in Karwachauth? Now, if you have nausea, dizziness, or low blood pressure or blood sugar issues, then it's not a very good idea to have heavy salgi. So that means if you have all these diseases, you should have something light. So you have to have balanced meal of fruits, nuts, milk, and smoothie. So this is what you can consume. You can have some oats along with this. Sprouts are a very good filler. You consume sprouts, you can stay full for a very long time. Before you start your fast, you have to drink lots of liquid, like a tall glass of milk, coconut water, or buttermilk. So, drinks are liquids. Milk is the best substitute, but if not, then buttermilk is also a good idea. If you think fasting will not be possible, what you can do is you can pray till half a day, or you can pray early and do your breakfast, but still continue participating in festivities, get ready, go for prayers, and participate in other celebrations. So that will complete the festivity without you feeling awkward that you did not fast this Karwa Chauth. Stay as hydrated as you can if possible. That means you drink more than usual when and you take food that contains lots of water, such as stews and soups. So they should be consumed the previous day in the evening and then early morning so that you have adequate water in your body. The lack of fluids can make you constipated. So you should have plenty of high fiber foods such as whole grain foods, vegetables, beans. All this will give you enough fiber so that you're not constipated. Fasting can sometimes bring on indigestion because you remain hungry and suddenly you start eating. So it's not a good idea. So do not just eat and go back to bed. Do not eat very fatty or salty food. Again, take a very, very balanced diet and start eating slowly and do not immediately rest after eating so that you do not develop indigestion. Take things easy, and if you can't manage things on your own, accept help when it is offered. If your family is chit chatting, let them be. You try to take afternoon nap. Ask your family and friends who have fasted while being pregnant so that they can tell you some tips and points to how to cope up with fasting during pregnancy. Do not walk long distances. Do not carry heavy weight while fasting. Now, to do list to decide on fasting. So, number one, consult your gynae and ask whether fasting is safe for you. If the answer is yes, then probably you can go ahead. But there are other things you pay attention to your body. Listen to your body. Say what your body is telling. If your body is telling yes, it's fine. If it is telling no, then it's a no. Keep yourself hydrated before and after, and if possible, through the day. Eat healthy meals a few days in advance and the early morning. Keep yourself distracted. That means keep yourself occupied. If you, some with some light activity, do not do anything heavy. Keep relaxed and calm and conserve energy. Do not talk with loudly. Do not talk too much. Do not watch anything which will consume your emotions. Be very comfortable, relaxed, and calm. Be ready for the change. Suppose if you can't handle your fast, then don't feel bad. If you need to break it, break it. In between, it's a good idea that in afternoon, when everybody is doing something, you sleep from 12 to 3, then 4 o'clock, you can have your prayers and then get ready and for the evening moonrise. Now, what's the best way to break my fast? Number one, eat very slowly. So once you see, do not just start gulping food. You have to start with light meals. So have soup first, then food that contains natural sugars such as fruit, milky drinks are a good choice. They will give you the energy if you have not taken all this through the day. Once you've broken your fast, you opt for meals that give you a healthy balance of starchy food, fruits and vegetables, dairies and proteins. So you should have a complete Indian meal which contains chapati, rice, dal, vegetable, curds. So that will and probably a fruit. So this will make a complete wholesome diet for you. If you are a non-veg eater, I don't know whether on Karwa Chauth you can eat, but if eating, it's okay. Opt for complex carbohydrates such as whole grains and seeds, high fiber foods such as dal and dried fruits. This will keep you going as they release energy slowly. So do such things in the morning before you start fasting so that the energy levels in the body can last much longer compared to the salty and the fatty food that we typically consume. Eat little and often if you can, and make sure you drink plenty of fluids such as water, low sugar drinks, and caffeine free drinks to stay well hydrated. Now, what are low sugar drinks like buttermilk, milk, and plain water, lime water? These are all low sugar things. Caffeine free drinks, you all understand we are talking no to coffee, tea, and colas. Try not to have lots of sugary foods that will raise your blood sugar levels quickly. Your blood sugar, because what happens is when you eat suddenly, then the blood sugars will rise suddenly. With a sudden rise of blood sugar, there'll be a sudden release of insulin. And because of the sudden release of insulin, there'll be a sudden drop of blood sugar quickly. And suddenly you will feel very faint and dizzy. So after a brief spike of blood sugar, you will start feeling faint and dizzy. It's not a very good thing. So please do not have lots of sugary food because a lot of women wait with a box of rasgulla and just wait for the moon to rise and they start eating those. So please have a balanced diet. Now, daily activities and exercise. So fasting can make you feel tired. It is therefore recommended not to take part in exercises at least 2 hours after breaking the fast. That so that means the same evening you should not be exercising and you can start exercising the next day. You can walk and take part in daily activities in the morning, but remember to rest and stay cool. Do not sweat and try not to dehydrate at any point. Do not tire yourself during the fasting hours. If you're pregnant and trying to keep the fast, there are other potentially simpler methods to reboot your system, like getting some extra sleep during the day so that you conserve some energy. Be prepared for acidity, fatigue, headache, bloating, and dizziness. So these are very common when you fast. There could be some acidity, fatigue. So please do not consume any kind of spicy food or very hot food before fasting so that you don't develop acidity through the day. And that is the idea of consuming a non-fatty diet before you start fasting. Then monitoring baby's movements are very essential. So it's not that if you fast, you forget the baby. It is important that you continue to count the baby's movements the whole day. So who should count the movements? Women who are more than 26 weeks pregnant should pay attention to their fetal movements, more so by women who are more than 28 weeks till term. So, or when you're pregnant, you must ensure that your baby is moving at least 1 per hour, and there should not be any gap of more than 3 hours in a duration of 12 hours. So, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., there should be good 10 movements and no break of more than 3 hours. If you're worried about your baby's movements, then you should immediately contact the maternity assessment unit at the hospital where you're booked. So you should report to the emergency where an NST or a CTG is available. NST is a non-stress test. You can also call it a fetal ECG. So the two belts are tied on the maternal tummy and a record is taken of the baby's heartbeat. And this can tell us whether the baby is in good shape or no. Now, some other points like is henna safe in pregnancy? Karwachauth, henna is a very, very, everyone wants to have good henna before Karwachauth. So people decorate till elbows and even till mid calf in the feet. So it is important to know which henna. So it depends on the type of henna you use. A natural henna is absolutely safe, which is a skin dye, and it should not have any chemicals. So it is safe on hair and skin both. So this type of henna is brown and harmless. Now, you should not, it is also suggested as an alternative if you don't want to use the chemical hair dyes while you're pregnant. That means you can actually color your hair with different shades of hennas. These are semi permanent color and available in shades. Now, problem with henna is nowadays it's very difficult to get natural henna. Most of it is with chemicals, which gives instant color and goes off. A good henna is one which will leave a light brown color on the skin and it stays on the skin for 3 weeks. While a black henna or a semi permanent natural, not a semi permanent or a chemical henna, will give instant color after applying. You find a very dark henna, and after washing in 3 4 days, you find that it is mostly gone. Now, black henna is another kind of henna which is used in hair dyes. It contains paraphenyldramine and it is not safe. It can cause dermatitis and severe allergic reactions. They are used safely as an ingredient in hair dyes, but they are best avoided in pregnancy. My last slide is like Salon Visit in Corona times. Now, I would recommend that you should not go to salon during the rush hours. You should wear a well-fitting mask and do not remove it. Limit the duration inside the salon. That means do not stay there for a long time. Choose a salon which is well ventilated, preferably with outside air. Negative pressure salons is a good idea, and avoid makeup in salons. You can do the rest, but try not to take off your tight fitting, well fitting mask in the salon, and ensure that people around you in salon, including the customers and the caregivers, are wearing adequate protection using gloves and face shields and using sanitizer. They're washing, the hygiene is maintained. Ensure that the instruments that are used on you are well sterilized. And so if you do that way, you can probably do it in a safer way. Salon at home is also a good idea. You may choose anyone, but try to stick to these points because corona doesn't impact the pregnant women more, but once it impacts, it's likely to be more severe. And if it becomes more severe, the recovery is also delayed. Though fortunately nowadays, corona is behaving better and we are getting good results. Touch wood, so far, most of the pregnant women who got corona are doing fine, and we are doing close monitoring to them. But it's very important that you stay away and stay safe. So I'm happy to end my slideshow here, and I would like to take some questions, if any. So there's a question that I've delivered a baby boy a week ago. It's okay if I do fasting. Will it affect the health of my child? During breastfeeding, it's the same situation as in pregnancy. And if you have recovered very well, that your stitches are healing well, and you are not diabetic, not hypertensive, and no other complications, probably you can speak to your doctor. And if they agree that, okay, yes, you can fast. But my recommendation would be not to do a full fast and probably do a partial fast, because if the milk production reduces, it's very difficult to bring it back. So this is in section 4 months ago. Can I fast? Please help. So I believe your child must be weaned by now. If the child is not weaned, and if you think you're producing adequate milk and you're able to remain hungry that long, because during breastfeeding the caloric requirement is higher. But if so, then you can follow the instructions that I gave you, and probably you can fast. But ensure that you don't have any diseases. My wife is 6 months pregnant. The baby growth प्रॉपर नहीं है, तो इस कंडीशन में क्या फास्टिंग प्रेफर्ड है? नहीं, अगर बेबी ग्रोथ ठीक नहीं है तो उन्हें फास्ट नहीं करना चाहिए. हाँ, उन्हें उस तरह से, जैसे मैंने बताया कि सुबह जल्दी उठ के खा लें, फिर पूरा दिन दूध, फ्रूट्स और कुछ इस तरह से एनर्जी वाली चीज़ें ले लें, और शाम को जल्दी प्रेयर करके उसके बाद फास्ट ब्रेक कर लें और फिर बाकी फेस्टिविटी कंटिन्यू कर लें. वो उनके लिए ज़्यादा बेहतर होगा. और अगर उनका मन है उसके बाद भी फास्ट करने का, तो ये वाला फास्ट वो किसी और दिन करके कॉम्पेंसेट कर लें, ऐसा कर सकते हैं वो. तो ये नहीं कर लेना चाहिए, बट उससे ज़्यादा नहीं. उन्हें ये बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है कि जो बच्चा आने वाला है और जिसकी ग्रोथ ठीक नहीं हो रही है, उसे एक दिन के न्यूट्रिशन से भी फ़र्क पड़ सकता है. तो उन्हें फास्ट अगर हो सके तो ना करें. Hi, I'm in my 3rd month of pregnancy, and how do I fast? So 3rd month of pregnancy में आपकी situation कैसी है? अगर आपका vomiting, if you're not vomiting, if you are comfortable, otherwise you're okay, you're not lost weight, you're not thyroid, hypertension, diabetes, and no other diseases, which and you have fasted earlier and it was easy. So consider fasting if you can, but speak to your body and see if your body is ready. If at any point you feel that you're not able to take it, break your fast. Don't worry about it, and pray for the longevity of your husband. I have diabetes, and I'm on metformin and 7.5 months pregnant. Should I do fasting? So if it is a well-controlled diabetes, then probably you can fast, but there'll be a lot of sugar fluctuation. Now with diabetes, If you're fasting, you will take your first tablet with a early morning fast, and then through the day I would still recommend maybe you can have some milk if you don't take fruits, and then evening again with breakfast you can have your second dose of metformin. So if at all you really are very very keen on fasting, you can fast this way, but ensure that you don't take salty or fatty food before breakfast, and avoid sugary drinks even after breaking the fast, and probably stick to the healthy meal after breakfast. Yeah. My wife is 1.5 months pregnant. We have to urgently travel and forth. Can she travel while fasting? Well, this is a difficult scenario. Typically, most of the gynecologists would agree with me that traveling is best avoided in the first 3 months of pregnancy. Now you are talking that you want to travel, that it is first 3 months, and she needs to fast. I think you must ask this question to her treating doctor, because, in my opinion, it is not advisable to put so much of stress on her. I had two miscarriages in the past. Now I'm 4 months pregnant. My gynae says the growth of the baby is okay. So can I do fasting? Does it affect anything? So if you have no complications, if everything is okay, if you feel strong, you begin fasting. And if you see how it goes, and if you think it goes well, you continue. If you think it doesn't go well, then you can just pray and break the fast. Or else just take milk, fruits, nuts, or something similar, which will not break the fast completely. So there are ways and means, because most of the pregnant women, they do their fast in such a way that the fast will still continue and you can do such thing. But if you insist, if you think you're very strong and you can do it, go ahead and see how you feel. Listen to your body and try to sleep as much as possible. Thank you for your questions. We'll be back next time, some other interesting topic. Thank you and namaste.